said, the process was not done very well because the Democrats wanted to push this through. Now, unfortunately, there is a big issue here that goes way beyond the 9/11 responders, and I think it's abhorrently disgraceful that they allowed this to even become part of this bill. Do you mean to tell me that because somebody's now listen, I don't want this to be a discussion on legal or versus illegal immigration here to the United States. That's another show, another day. That's another 6 to 10 hours worth of discussions that we could go through. But do you mean to tell me that because someone's immigration status was in question, that is a reason or a justification to stop this bill from going forward? Because the truth is, it didn't matter whether you spoke Spanish, English, German, Arabic, French, Italian, whatever the hell it is you spoke. And it didn't matter what your homeland was on September 11th and in the days that followed. The bottom line to what happened there was that there are thousands of men and women who were there because they wanted to help with the cleanup. And I want you to realize something. Not everybody was down there and collecting a paycheck to help with the cleanup. There were thousands of volunteers who came from all corners of this globe. From all corners of this globe to dig through and to help get bodies and body parts and pieces of that building away. And I don't care where they're from. I don't care if they happen to have crossed the border in Texas to come over here, but just happen to be there to help with the cleanup. They deserve help just as much as anybody else who stepped foot on that sacred ground. And I'm going to tell you something. If you are watching this show right now, and you think that one of those people who may not have proper status, you got to think about something here. Not only does it include so-called illegal immigrants, but it could also include people who are on the right track to becoming citizens of the United States, but who aren't yet. The Republicans didn't want this just to be for people who were not legally here. They wanted this to be prohibited for anybody who was not an American citizen. Who is not an American citizen. Well, guess what? This happened on our soil. And not just American citizens helped with the cleanup. And so this is not an issue of immigration at all. This is an immigration of Republicans in the United States House of Representatives wanting to only help the people who can vote for them. They didn't ask questions on September 11th, 2001 and the days to follow where you were from if you came to help that day or if you wanted to donate blood. They wanted help. They needed help. And if you are a human being and you think that we shouldn't be there to help the people who gave of themselves after that, shame on you. I'm telling you right now, I have never been so disgusted over an issue than this. How this becomes a political issue again shows how clueless most Republicans are. And I don't care. You know what? I'm going to say it blanketly. I don't give a shit. If you are against this bill, you are a heartless coward. And if I offended you, I'm sorry. Because this issue is not about whether you are an illegal or a legal immigrant to the United States. This is about people who gave of their lives to help with the cleanup, to help find people who may have still been alive and buried under thousands of tons of rubble. But no, we only want to help the people who are here and who are American citizens. Fuck the rest of the people who gave of themselves. Let them die. Let them all die. If they had white faces, I'm sure you wouldn't mind. My God, sometimes I just don't understand what's going on in this country. I really don't. Sometimes it's embarrassing to have to tell people it's the United States. I'm from the United States, the country that tells people you can go fuck yourself. It's remarkable. And they play politics and politics and politics over these things. You've got to be kidding me. Unbelievable. You mean to tell me if Tony Blair's nephew came over here to the United States and he happened to give a couple of weeks of his life to help with the cleanup, and he somehow got respiratory issues the way many of these police officers did, that these Republican congressmen would care? Not a chance. They would make sure he was given the treatment and paid for the way it needs to be paid for and the way he needs to be treated properly so that he could live a normal life. You mean to tell me if Paul Martin, the former Prime Minister of Canada, had a 25-year-old son, and you sent him down, and Martin sent him down here to the United States to help with the cleanup for a couple of weeks to show solidarity with this country, and Paul Martin's 25-year-old son got respiratory issues, that there wouldn't be a fight to make sure that his medical costs and care were taken care of? You bet your ass it would be taken care of. But when it comes to somebody else, it comes to other people because their skin is darker and they speak Spanish in their homes, becomes a completely different issue. And I'm so sick of it. I am so sick of it. The double standard is unfathomable. And unfortunately, this is what we see constantly in this country. And this is what we see all the time. And this is why the bill doesn't pass. And it's probably not going to pass for quite some time. Now, I know I may have offended some people today. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just cannot fathom how you could be an American and turn your back on anybody who on September 11th, 2001 or beyond gave of their life to help at Ground Zero. And let's not forget that that brilliant bastion of a woman, Christy Todd Whitman, told to the American people that it was safe to breathe the air down there, even without a mask. And some of these guys here went and in and cleaned up without wearing masks and breathed it in and day out. And believe me, Frog, I don't exactly have love and concern for people who are here illegally either. But when they do and they give of themselves to help in a situation like this, they should not be the roadblock to everybody getting the help that's necessary.